Hi, my name's Naomi.
I'm Ariel.
I'm Ella.
We're from NSU Modern, and I'm one of the executive directors.
I'm the other executive director.
And I'm an assistant director this year.
We're here to break down our video Rich Girl that we posted last year. It's basically a concept video that we made online.
At the time, it was spring quarter. We've been on Zoom for quite some time. The whole concept behind it was like, you know, kind of dozing off or like kind of going into your own little dream world during your Zoom class. In the beginning, we started with a Zoom classroom. On center, we have Jay, our dance captain, playing our professor, discussing, you know, doing an econ lecture on like how to get rich. And so on the side, we have 4 of our dancers doing or playing different Zoom personas. So we have one doing her laundry, another one drinking boba, another like really diligent student, and then on top we have our dancer Amanda, who we love, who is asking a question, basically asking if the stuff that we're learning in the art econ class is like all based on his experience or, you know, based on theory.
After Amanda asks the question, basically the professor starts to daydream while he's teaching his class, and that's what initiates the dancing. The first dancing scene, he shows up as kind of the main character. This whole thing is happening in his brain. Essentially, it's like a daydream, and then we just have the rest of our dancers to accompany him in his daydream of what it would be like to be rich. He would be doing this if he was rich.
This beginning part has a lot of beats if you listen to the audio, and that was what like spoke to me when I was making the dance and what I took inspiration from. And I also have Jay on center doing different choreography from the other people, which helps to highlight that he was like the professor or the main person just a couple seconds before. All the other dancers are accompanying him, and each of them are doing different sides, so it makes like a complete picture. The process of creating this over Zoom is completely different from anything we would do in person. It was cool to be able to mess with the video and create a lot of video effects that wouldn't have been possible in person. At one point, we're able to like move dancers around the screen and have them rotating.
In person, we would have people physically walk in and out of the stage, obviously, but then over Zoom, it was easy for us to switch between different dancers really quickly.
You know, take into consideration that we can have people popping in and out of the screen.
The formation changes like every few seconds.
For this section, I have quite a few dancers on the screen, so I wanted to use different levels and to use that to make it visually interesting. So what I did was I marked on my phone which people I would want to use the top level and the bottom level, and I instructed them over Zoom as to which one they would be doing. It was hard to envision what it might look like when it would come together, because obviously on Zoom you're not in the formation that you would want on the screen. We could also use video editing too if something went wrong.
The ripple is very like fast, so it was kind of difficult to get everyone to do it at the same time. There was times where I'd have to be like, hey, you need to go a little bit earlier so that it reads. For this last scene, we have Jay show up again in the center, and he's also doing this pose, and it kind of is like a hint, I guess, to the fact that this was all in his head, and it was essentially a dream or like a daydream. And then we have these 4 dancers on the side just kind of backing him up, because I feel like in a dream world, you know, you would have your own background dancers, your own crew, and everything like that. So we wanted to make sure to tie the end of the video together with the same thing, like him being in the center from like the start to the finish, if that makes sense. And this was also the section in heels too, so we thought we would end it with a bang, with everyone wearing heels in their own homes.
It was well received, and I think it was really fun.
I feel like we got to be creative in a different way than normal, because we were making like something for a digital platform, which is different. And everyone, all the teams were experimenting with their own ways of interpreting the digital platform, so it was cool to see that.
Now we're going to break down our video to pick up the phone. It was our fall 2021 audition promo video. This one was like a lot different than the last one because we were in person now, which was really fun. The whole goal is to like get people to see it, to be like, oh my god, I want to audition for that team.
We make a promo video every year with for the same purpose. Just before auditions, we make sure that it comes out before auditions so that people can watch like this entertaining video and be like, oh, I want to try out for their team. And we always only have our leadership in the video, because at that point we don't have a team yet because we haven't had auditions. This year was like a little bit different because it was in person, so we had to make sure everyone was vaccinated and tested negative before we filmed it together, and we filmed it all in one day. We basically just knew that we wanted to have like a really bright, colorful, summery, upbeat vibe for the video, because we were just kind of coming out of the pandemic and going back in person, so we didn't want anything too heavy. We wanted something, yeah, uplifting. I guess the loose concept is just like you're answering the call to audition for NSU Modern.
Usually whenever we have a promo bid, we start with the 2 executive directors. So that's us. So the video starts.
So that's us in the video.
It starts with Ariel and I, and then
it expands. And
to
then
our assistant directors. So it's Ella and then Daisy.
Yeah, Daisy is the one with the purple hair. The rumors are true. I did dye my hair for the video.
After the first section with just the directors, we swipe and then we see our entire L-ship together on a rooftop.
I think there's like 8, or how many locations are there? Like there was like 7
Quite
or
a few
8 different locations, and we filmed this all in one day.
Yeah, all scattered throughout like Venice, LA, or Westwood area, I guess.
We basically just made sure that each scene was going to be at a different location so that it doesn't repeat the same location.
So in this section, I wanted to use dancers that, you know, could do splits. And we're like, you know, versatile. So these 4 dancers, you know, they're really, really talented and really good, and that's why they're on leadership. So when I heard the music, I heard a very distinct like doo 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 throughout, and so I wanted a sort of ripple going behind the dancers' heads to go from like one direction to the other. I wanted to like utilize a split in some form because I think people find that like generally impressive.
Yeah.
If people can do that.
And this is definitely one of the most like climactic moments of the video, just because the style is different from the rest of the video. She swipes, it's Naomi, she swipes, and then the whole scene changes, and it's kind of a cool moment, and it's like, oh, we're about to do something different. And I feel like it's just a refreshing like scene in the video. And if you look between each consecutive section, most of the time it's someone different, and you can maybe pick up on the fact that it's a different choreographer, and I think that keeps the video interesting too. So it's not just one type of like interpretation of the music.
One idea I had was to have the videographer start at the front of the formation and then move around the formation so that different people were featured at each point in the formation. So when we start this piece, or this section of the piece, we have the 4 directors in front, and then it rotates, and then you see different members of L-ship until we get to the other side, and we see Misaki, our admin, featured, and then Daisy comes from behind her, and they switch formations. So
Yeah.
that was really fun to play with. Thinking about all of those things is super different from online, because that wasn't something we had to think about as heavily.
For one part of my section, I wanted the camera to start with just these 3 people, and then as it zooms out, you can kind of see that there are 2 more people added into the section. And then we just do some choreo together, the 5 of us, as the camera goes out more. The camera then like zooms out again, and then we have these new dancers coming in from the sides. So I kind of wanted to play around with like the view of the camera and like how many dancers we would capture. So it seems like these people are kind of coming out of nowhere and joining in, and then it just transitions into like these new people basically.
For the solos, we just kind of let our L-ship have a little bit of creative freedom and have fun doing whatever we want, and we basically had them film in front of each of the walls that we had filmed at for each of the group sections. One of the, you know, really fun sections of it is getting to like do your own thing and, you know, have fun with choreography at the very end for your introduction.
And we also thought it would be like a good way to tie the video together to revisit all of the different locations that we were at.
So that was a breakdown of our videos, Rich Girl and Pick Up the Phone.
This was so much fun to film.
Thanks for watching.
Thank you.